Hello, hello, hello. As many of you know, last week I titrated up from 5 milligrams of Zepbound to 10 milligrams. And in this episode, I'm giving you an update on how it's going and how much weight loss I've had. So I'm excited to tell you about it. Hello, bold, brilliant, brave people out there. Thank you so much for tuning in to Zepbound with Ange. I am Angela Durant. I appreciate you coming to my channel. I'm Angela Durant, and my friends call me Ange. And I'm taking the obesity medication by Eli Lilly called Zepbound. Some of you may have heard of Ozempic. You may have heard of Wegovy. You may have heard of Mounjaro. I'm actually taking the obesity medication called Zepbound, and I'm currently in week 6. I can't believe it's already week 6. Time is flying. Time is flying. So if you are someone who has struggled with your weight, all of your life or after having children, and you're considering weight loss medication, if you are someone who is already on a journey with Zepbound, Wegovy, Saxenda, Mounjaro, or Ozempic, you are in the right place. Right? If you're curious, you just want to know about it, you're in the right place. If you're on the journey, you want support, you're in the right place. If you like just having a community and you like to celebrate your wins, you are in the right place because I like to celebrate your wins too. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I drop a video. And I also, if you have been taking one of these medications, weight loss, obesity medications, for over a year, I want to hear from you. If you've been on it for over a year, I want to hear from you. So please drop a note in the comments because I want to connect with you. I've got some things I'm up to. So please, please, please let me know. I definitely want to know about the veterans out there who've been doing this for a while. And before we dive in, I also want to thank each and every one of you who have been leaving comments, questions, encouragement, have challenged me. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, and I appreciate that. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for the engagement. Now, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's jump in. So I took my first dose of the 10 milligrams of Zepbound on Thursday. Today is Monday. And so that's 4 days. So 4 days ago, I took it. And I noticed that my cravings are starting to subside with the 10 milligrams. On 2.5 and 5, which is how I went up. I didn't do 2.5. I didn't do 2.5 of Zepbound. I started at 5 milligrams and then I jumped from 5 to 10. And I'll tell you on 5, it definitely gave me more control. I know that it was working, but I still had cravings, right? I still had cravings. I was like, should I still be hungry, right? When I was talking to other people, they're like, oh, a few minutes after I took my first dose, I was like, I'm full, right? And I didn't even eat anything, right? I was like, that's not my journey, right? Which says that we're all different. Our journeys are all different. No two people are exactly the same, right? And that's okay. We don't have to be exactly the same, right? But that's not my experience, right? So on Saturday, this was like the first time this happened to this degree. On this past Saturday, I was fully aware that the medication was working. I was fully aware that the medication was working. So funny because a friend of mine was like, so how are you feeling on 10? Is 10 working? I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's working, right? Earlier in the day, she had asked me that on Saturday. And then after lunch on Saturday, I remember I made I had like a little container of meat sauce and spaghetti, and I stopped eating when I was satisfied. And I recognized that the desire for having the rest of the food was gone. Like it was the strangest thing. It was like gone. Like I could see the food there. Normally, it wasn't that much in there, so it wasn't a whole lot left. If it was a few more bites, I would have said, "Oh, let me just go ahead and finish it." But I was looking at it and I was thinking, I'm not really, I have no desire to finish it. So I'm just going to leave it. Right. And I had never done that before. So I knew in that moment, oh, it's working. It's working. I was like, yay, it's working. Right. And so, so, so that was a milestone for me because typically the medication, when I take my injections, they don't kick in right away. I don't know. Let me know about you if does it kick in right away for you. It doesn't for me, not right away. But this was a moment where I was really paying attention, listening to my body, and I realized I was like, there, the desire is boop gone, which I thought was fantastic. So for those of you who don't know, I started my journey, my Zepbound journey at 296 pounds. And as of this morning, well, let me just say, the first week I was on Zepbound, I lost 10 pounds. I was so excited, but I guess a lot of it was probably water weight. Then the second week I was up 2 pounds, I think. And then I lost a few pounds. And then I went away. I went to Boston and I came back like 6 pounds heavier. Right. Right. And so I'm excited to say that I started at 296. My highest weight was 331, but on Zepbound, I started at 296 6 weeks ago. And as of this morning, I weigh 279.6 pounds. That is a total weight loss from the beginning to now of 16.4 pounds in 6 weeks. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. And so in 6 weeks, I lost 16.4 pounds. And I really don't know how much I can lose on Zepbound, but my hope is that I can get down at least 100 pounds because I have a lot to lose. I have over 100 pounds to lose. I've seen people losing like 80 and 100 pounds, and I'm hoping that I can lose more than that. I want to ask you a question. So I'm starting to hear people say they've been on it for a year, and after a year, the hunger cravings are coming back, the head hunger is coming back. They've been on it for a year and they're plateaued in their weight, they're not losing anymore. Or there's some people who continue to lose. What is your journey? What is your story? If you've been on it for a while, please let me know. I'm really curious to know what happens after the year mark. It's almost like in the bariatric world, I kind of felt like there was a race for that first year to get as much weight off as you could, because that was like the peak of when you would be losing weight. And I'm wondering if it's the same with these obesity medications. So let me know. I'm curious to know about your journey with that. Okay, so I have over 100 pounds to lose, and I'm so excited to be down 16.4 pounds. And now I wanted to talk to you about side effects, right? Because many of you also ask me about side effects, and depending on which of my videos you're watching, because I do talk about them in the videos, but if this is your first time here, I want to tell you that I typically get a little sleepy the first day that I take my injection, right? I typically get a little bit sleepy, a little tired. And I still need to try the electrolytes, more electrolytes, because a few of you told me to take that and that will help. The second side effect, which I told you about the last time I posted in episode 15, that I had this itchy bump on my arm here and on the back of my ankle. I had these two little bumps that was like mosquito bites or a spider bite. And what I found from after making that video, and I'm so glad I mentioned it because I didn't even realize it was a side effect until it happened with both the 5 milligrams and then it happened again with the 10 milligrams. But I'm glad that I mentioned it because many of you are like, oh my gosh, I had that too. I had that too. So it's a thing, right? It is a side effect that not a lot of people are talking about, but we're talking about it here. So that's very, very good. So that those are subsided. I'm fine. Didn't require anything, serious, but I wanted you to know about it. So if you get a lump on the back of your leg and it's itchy, you can, probably assess that it's from the medication. Other than that, I've been pretty good. Haven't really felt much, I haven't felt nauseous, constipated, diarrhea, nothing out of the normal for me. Um, and so I've been pretty good. I would say I'm tolerating the 10 milligrams well. And I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a doctor, so you'll have to talk to your doctor when you're ready to titrate up and share with your doctor your side effects and how you're feeling on it. But I knew that I was going to need a higher dose. I just didn't know at what point it was going to kick in, and I felt like, okay, this is a place where I can stay. Okay. You also asked me questions about the side effect of constipation. And I only had one issue where I was like, am I getting constipated? And that was, and I knew in the moment that I hadn't been drinking enough water. So somebody did ask about, like, what do you do? What do you do? And here's what I'll tell you. Um, I had to deal with that when I had bariatric surgery, because when you get anesthesia, that has a tendency, at least for me, that had a tendency of causing constipation, right? In the hospital, they gave me Colace, and that helped. That was fine. I had it at home in case I needed it, but they gave me that. So that worked well for me. But again, check with your doctor to make sure. There's a lot of over-the-counter medications that work fine for me, but I just made a list here, and Miralax is something you could try. Again, there's no substitution for drinking more water. Make sure you're getting your veggies in and your fiber. Also, Docalax is a good one. I've tried that before. That's worked well for me. And exercising, right? The breathing, the moving has helped keep me regular. So those are a few tips that I can share with you that have helped me. And then if any of you in the group, if you also have some tips, please leave them in the comments for other people who might be struggling with that. Thank you so much. All right. So the other thing I want to talk about, and it's not really an elephant in the room, but I think we should have the discussion, and that is about titrating up too fast. Some of you are like, please, Ange, don't go to 10. Wait, go to 7.5. Don't skip steps. Wait, slow it down. There's no reason for you to go so fast. And I appreciate that. Because you may have experience that I don't have. But what I will tell you is that I know I'm listening to my body, right? And I would say that you need to know your body, and you need to know, like, what you can tolerate. Need to know, like, are you still hungry? Is it working like it's supposed to be working for you? And then you need to speak to your doctor about it to make sure, because the doctor is going to say, no, 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 no. You don't need to speed up so fast. Slow down. And keep in mind that about a year ago, I was on Ozempic. And on Ozempic, I titrated up each step, right? And I know that they're not apples to apples, but I was on Ozempic, and then I was on Saxenda. So my doctor knows what I can tolerate, right? And she even told me when I first started on Ozempic, the first few phases of it, like, you're probably not going to feel anything, right? So that's those are the things I would say. And I would also say that my plan, if it keeps making me feel the way I'm feeling right now, which is taking away those cravings, it takes away the desire once I've had enough, when I'm satisfied for food, then I may stay at 10. I'll stay here as long as I can, because I do understand that once you get to 15, there's nowhere you can go from there. Like, once you're already at the top, there's no higher dose right now than a 15, right? So I totally get that, and it makes sense, and I understand your concern, and I appreciate that. So here's what I learned this week. I learned that on Zepbound, I was reading an article, and I learned that on Zepbound, you could start feeling hunger on day 5 or 6, right before that, the 7th day when you take the next dose. You can start feeling hungry. And the article said that on Wegovy, it pretty much carries you from week to week. But on Zepbound, you could start feeling hungry day 5 or day 6. And I found that to be true with my journey. Let me know if you found that to be true with your journey. If you're on Zepbound, do you get a little bit hungry? And on Wegovy, tell me about that. Like, does it carry you from week to week, or do you feel the effects wearing off as you get closer to the time you're supposed to take your next dose? Would love to know that. And then what I also learned is that I need to listen to my body, and I need to notice when there's a change. Like, notice, oh my gosh, the desire just evaporated for the food. Like, oh my gosh, I've got these lumps that are itchy. I think that's the same thing that happened to me the last time I took the medication, right? Like, just being aware, paying attention to anything that's out of the ordinary. Take note of it. Like, don't just assume it's something else. Take note of it, right? And then, of course, as always, follow your doctor's orders, right? I laugh about this because I have not, over history, I have not always been the best patient. Like, I've not always listened to what my doctors have said. Sometimes I thought I knew better, right? But with this, I really am listening to what they're telling me, right? And if she's telling me you got to drink water, you need to move, we need you to move, we need you to do weight training. Because I said, should I just do cardio or should I do weight training too? She's like, I want you to do both, right? Some people said just do weight training because we could lose a lot of muscle mass. But she told me she wants me to do both. So I'm doing both, right? Am I, a world-class athlete? No. I'm just doing baby steps. I celebrate the small wins though. Like I walk on the treadmill. I get on the elliptical machine. It may be 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And then I go and I do weights. I work out, and today I did upper body, right? I do 3 machines, and I do 3 reps of 15 each. That's what I'm doing, because I'm doing what I can do, right? I'm doing what I can do, right? So that is, that's what my doctors asked me to do. And I feel good about that. I feel good that I'm following through. The other thing I wanted to address here is that, because some people might say, well, if you're eating less, you're drinking water, and you're working out, that's a lifestyle change you should be doing all along. You don't really need the medication, right? But I want to say, I know for sure I need the medication, but I also want to say that there's something about knowing you have a tool, right? That you have support, that you have help, that gives you hope. And I think it's that hope that has me get up and go to the gym in the morning, right? Or take a long walk, right? Or have the courage to come here and share all my business, right? my best girlfriend, she's like, you share all your business online, right? But I know there's somebody out there just like me, right? I know that you're out there and you may have questions, or you might be afraid. You might be afraid of the needle, right? You may be afraid of the side effects, but you're challenged with your weight and you want to follow somebody else's journey just to see, right? And so so this has really helped me to to share with you, and to and you're great. I mean, this community is fantastic, really, really nice people, and I'm really blessed to get a chance to interact with many of you, right? So the last thing I just want to say is that I learned, and continue to learn, is just enjoy the process, right? Celebrate the wins, large and small, right? And be patient, because it works, right? And I keep telling myself the science doesn't lie, right? Trust the data. Don't get involved with the drama, right? There might be weeks where you gain 6 pounds. Now, 6 pounds was out of order. That was just disrespectful, right? That scale was just disrespectful when I got on it. It was like 6 pounds. I was like, oh no, I got to tell my community I gained 6 pounds, right? But I knew that over time it's going to go away, and I'll continue to progress, and they'll be up and down until I get to where I need to get to, right? It's a journey, right? So we celebrate all the wins. And some of you post in the comments, oh, I only lost, 3 pounds. I only lost, but you didn't gain. You lost, right? So we got to celebrate those. That's a win. We got to celebrate that win, okay? And I don't care if it's a pound, it's a pound less than what you weighed, and it is to be celebrated. Okay, so I want to welcome all of your questions. Any of you have questions, depending on where you are in your journey, you may have different questions. Please share your questions with me, your comments. I love reading them, and I read every single one of them, and I try to respond to everyone. But our community is growing, right? It's growing, and I'm trying to keep up, right? My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm responding to comments. I'm responding to comments." The community is so great. I love hearing their stories. So thank you so much for doing that, for taking the time to leave a comment here. If you're enjoying these episodes, please hit the like button, leave a comment, please subscribe. And hit the bell because I should be back in a few days because I take my next injection, number 2, of 10 milligrams. I take it on Thursday. So today is Monday. I'm taking it on Thursday. So I may do another video on Thursday as well. And you'll be the first to get notified when that drops. Okay. So thank you. I want to thank you again for joining me here, Zepbound with Ange. Please, if you have friends who are struggling with their weight and they're considering the medication, because now I have a whole village of people. Like I call people up and say, "Oh, have you heard about Zepbound?" They're like, "Girl, I started Zepbound 3 weeks ago. Girl, I started Zepbound on Friday." Right? So you might have friends who are on it. Share this video with them. Invite them to the community. I would love to engage with them. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. And like you always say to me, you got this. You got this. Take care. All right. Bye for now.